Heads up. This episode, which you should share if you're a good person, has spoilers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to its recording June 10th, 2021. You'll be told where you might want to skip in the episode, and you can also use the timestamps in the description.
Back again.
Back to make... crap. I was about to do the Nicki line. Back to back. Maybags. Back to M. I really struggled with that. Welcome to...
Wait, what song is that from?
No, okay, it's gonna come back.
You just freestyle.
Because I know, no, that's the same song that has...
You made that
Now
up.
it's crunch time, abdomen. See, I wish I could have made... Nicki should have been on my mountain last week. Yeah, it's the same song. I'm gonna Google it. While I Google it, Caleb, introduce everyone back again.
Yeah, so we're back. I'm Caleb, and I'm here with Shane.
What's up?
And this is the second episode of the Anything But Work podcast
With Shane and Caleb.
with Shane and Caleb.
Big Bank.
Big Bank.
It's Big Bank.
Yeah, that's Nicki Minaj.
That's Nicki Minaj. That's the name of the song. Found it.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
No
sponsorship. No sponsor. I'm weak.
So how you doing today, Shane?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited to be back in the studio today. Thursday, January 10th, marks a week since we recorded the last one and the premiere of episode 1. So I'm hoping people are loving that. I got some nice messages. People I haven't heard from in a bit.
Yeah.
Some shows of support.
Appreciate the love.
Yeah.
All the love.
Yeah. We had like 5 or 6 days to listen back to the last episode and realize how often we say like. So if you catch us saying it in an episode, you'll get nothing. Like, I'm not going to send you money, but
Try to cut it a little bit.
yeah, we're trying to cut it a little bit because we appreciate, the help. If I start paying you, it becomes your job, and this is anything but work. So, do that here.
That's exactly what we're trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm. No sweepstakes from us. We're also broke. So, but Caleb, how have you been?
I'm good, man. It's Thursday. Been a long week.
Yeah,
I got some wine, so that makes things a little bit better.
We're drinking this episode. Get the clink in the mic.
Yeah. So cheers to that.
Yeah, got some white. It's tasty.
Tomorrow's Friday. 2 days from now is Saturday, and the next day is Monday.
Isn't it Sunday?
Oh yeah, Sunday. I forgot about Sunday.
It's okay. Don't we all? Sunday is just kind of that day that disappears.
I usually don't do anything on Sundays. I stay home, order some Thai food, and watch TV.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's all you need to do, really.
I love a rainy Sunday because then it makes me feel not guilty for doing nothing at all.
Right, and just feeling guilty about doing nothing is just kind of a sucky feeling. Like it's okay to not to do anything. Take some time for yourself.
Well, that actually is part of the reason why we're doing this podcast. At least for me. Is because I don't know about you, but 24/7, I feel like I have to be doing something productive.
Oh my God.
Or else I'm wasting my time.
Oh my God.
And I realized that mentality was just draining me. So I just needed something to take my mind off of that.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how I felt. And even like the things I was trying to do for fun and will continue to do for fun. I started a YouTube channel and I was like, oh, this is so great. First video has like 400 something views, which is amazing. I really appreciate. Okay. I know.
First vid?
Yeah, first vid. So it's going well, but I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to like make everything perfect.
Yeah. And
try and I'm making stuff once a month, and it just wasn't good for me. So I really like that we're doing this. This is a creative outlet that's a bit more. Oh, I don't know, looser.
Yeah.
Less pressure. You're just like,
just kicking it.
Kicking it with my best bud. It's good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about today?
Well, speaking of lazy Sundays with nothing to do, LeBron James. Oof. First round.
Damn, man.
It's crazy.
Come on, LeBron
James. Yeah, I didn't. So obviously, as I've said before, sports are not my forte, despite the fact that everyone around me is pretty into and knowledgeable about them. But I wanted to talk about LeBron James. Oh, specifically his Instagram and Twitter post recently, because he's a little salty.
Which post are you talking about?
You didn't see this?
No.
Okay, I actually should have mentioned this during like the prep. So like he posted a clip from Gladiator.
Oh.
Where he was basically,
I think I did.
Yeah, it's the quote where it's, "I'll get you, if not now, in the next life. I'll have my revenge." And it's like, whoa, like who knocked them out again? Was it the Suns?
The Suns.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
Yeah. So little context since Shane can't provide it.
Oh yeah, that's all, Caleb.
The Lakers dealing with the Lakers coming off a championship season. They were dealing with injuries all season. LeBron missed extended periods of times. Anthony Davis, known for his unibrow, second best player on the team, also extended period of time lost due to injury. So they come into the playoffs the 7th seed, but they're still the second favorite team to actually win the championship according to Vegas odds. And they go up 2-1 in the series, best of 7, and they lose 3 straight and they get bounced in the first round to the 2nd seed, Chris Paul, the Phoenix Suns. Great team. I hope they go all the way, honestly. But this actually is the first time that a LeBron James-led team has been bounced in any round other than the finals since like 2010, which is kind of insane. That's a whole decade. I know we just talked about the Mount Rushmore last episode.
Right.
But we're talking about the 2010s Mount Rushmore for basketball. It's basically just LeBron James there.
All 4.
All 4
for 4.
All 4 heads
Wow.
is LeBron James.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty bad omen because he's got a pretty big game coming up in a few weeks, too.
What do you mean? Oh, Space Jam?
Yeah, the Goon Squad, man. Can't let Bugs Bunny down.
I'm actually like, I watched Space Jam so many times when I was younger that this movie cannot be bad.
Really?
It can't be bad. It like, at least for me.
Okay, you know what? I get that.
Like, this could be the worst movie of all time, and it's not bad to me.
That's fair. No, I've been there. Like, basically any Ninja Turtles movie, I'll pay to see it in theaters. I'm not joking. Because
there's some trash Ninja Turtles movies.
There are some trash. Dude, I had 1, 2, and 3 on VHS growing up. And, like, my brother and I would rewind parts of that movie until we literally were throwing up laughing. Like
literally throwing up?
There would be one scene, I can't even remember what scene
like
it was.
You literally threw up because like you were laughing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone throwing
No,
up.
it's like my stomach would just be like torn to, like it was painful. And I was like my brother, like, stop rewinding the, like, I'm laughing. It just became funnier every time. But, you know, objectively, I'll say this. Objectively, the very first Ninja Turtles movie is actually amazing cinema. It was the highest grossing independent film of all time. Really? For like 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, because no one wanted to bankroll a Ninja Turtles movie, which was stupid because it was making bank with toys, but it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
Then the second one.
Trash?
It's iconic. You got Vanilla Ice. You know, it's they recasted April O'Neil, but I never noticed because I was like 5 years old.
Uh-huh.
The issue with it is that, so there's this thing going on in Europe where they were like deathly afraid of like ninjutsu and like the risk of like kids hurting themselves.
Okay.
So they banned nunchucks
in all of Europe. It
might be relegated to just the UK.
Okay.
I could be misremembering it, but yeah, like Michelangelo, like he could not use his nunchucks in anything. They had to edit like 2 seasons worth of TV. So I guess the movie was trying to be conscious of that. So in the second one, you may not have noticed this if you've seen it before, but they never used their weapons. Ever. That first fight, they're like throwing hot dogs at people and stuff.
I can't imagine. Clearly I haven't seen the movie before.
Right.
But I can't imagine Ninja Turtles not using their weapons.
No, they don't. Not at any point.
Okay.
Yeah. Wild stuff. All that to say, I get like those movies are kind of objectively terrible,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd pay to see a new one like now.
Well, that's how I feel. I mean, for Space Jam 2, undoubtedly, LeBron James is just my favorite athlete of all time.
Yeah.
And Space Jam is an iconic movie for
Yeah.
me. So I gotta see it.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
I'm gonna
and
watch
I'm gonna
it.
enjoy it regardless.
Space Jam.
You got Bugs in there. You got Lola Bunny.
Zendaya now.
Zendaya.
Voicing her.
Damian Lillard. Anthony Davis. The Tasmanian Devil. That's a fire cast right there.
That's a pretty fire cast. Don Cheadle's in it too.
Well, who's he playing?
He's like the villain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the story is weird now. It's like they're in a computer. It just seems like they're trying to make it also Ready Player One.
Okay.
So there's like all their stuff they own is crossed over in it. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. We should get tickets and go see Space Jam 2.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
So what were these Instagram quotes and tweets you were talking about?
Which from LeBron?
Yeah.
No, it was just him. He posted a clip from Gladiator, like, "I will have my revenge in this life or the next."
Oh, so okay. I thought there were more than
Oh no!
one.
Then the rest was just.
But I did see the Gladiator clip,
Mm-hmm.
and this has actually been a recurring theme from LeBron James, and I only know this because I'm a LeBron fanboy. But basically, he often requotes the Man in the Arena speech from, was it Teddy Roosevelt?
I think so.
Which essentially talks about being the person who is actually putting on the performance, being the person that is the figurehead, being the person that is constantly criticized, and going through those failures and getting back up, no matter what, basically. And all the people who are criticizing from the outside, essentially the people who are in the crowd watching the Man in the Arena, can't say shit.
Wow.
Because they don't know what they're talking about.
It's the inverse panopticon.
Yeah.
You read Foucault and was like, yeah, actually, fuck that. That's kind of dope.
It's actually
kind of ball with
it's
that.
actually a really, really, really good speech. And actually, it's probably one of my favorite speeches. So I highly recommend checking it out.
All right. The Man in the Arena. There you go. Recommendation. I would actually love to read that. Check that out. Speaking of men in arenas.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, another big sport fight event that happened over the last weekend. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Caleb, your thoughts? Who won? Who won? Go ahead. Call it.
All right. So we all saw the stats, right? Floyd Mayweather landed like 95% of his punches.
Yep.
Logan Paul landed like 2% of his punches.
It was like 10. Yeah, it's bad.
You know, Mayweather was smiling throughout the fight. Logan looked like he was struggling to stand up a little bit. He seemed a little gassed.
I'm honestly surprised he's alive, but I'll get into that in a second.
But honestly, Logan Paul won that fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Logan Paul, come on.
There's no
Floyd
question.
Mayweather, you're gonna tell me this man can't knock Logan Paul out?
My favorite hypothetical, I guess it is a hypothetical. So I used to ask people in college, what is the minimum amount of money someone would have to pay you to take a punch from Floyd Mayweather directly to the face as hard as he can? Because, I mean, it's Floyd.
Yeah, it's Floyd. 50-0.
Untouchable.
51-0.
Undefeated. He beat that guy who was not trained in boxing at all once, and it was pretty dope. Remember, was that Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Yep. The man himself, the notorious MMA. Yeah, he's nice.
He's a lot of people argue that Floyd Mayweather is the GOAT of boxing. I personally wouldn't say that myself.
Yeah, I would disagree.
But I mean, he has a strong case. He definitely has a strong case.
He's definitely the face of the sport as it exists today, like a very like defensive, points based. It's not really about knockouts, but he could absolutely demolish you.
Exactly. And so seeing. I mean, you just brought up a great point in his style of fighting, right? He's a very defensive boxer. It's extremely difficult to actually hit him. He's gonna tag you, and land his points where he's gonna land his points.
Death by 1,000 punches.
And that's the way he does it. But when he has shown in the past that when he truly outclasses his opponents, i.e., Conor McGregor, like you just mentioned, or that 17-year-old Japanese boy that he fought.
Okay, can I just say the examples we're listing? He's kind of like pulling up to the playground and taking candy from babies. 17? Not to dismiss this dude. Like, probably could beat me up at that age relative to mine. But
all right, can I ask you a question? Because I feel like this question has to be asked.
I'm really scared of what this. Okay, go ahead.
No,
I don't know what it is.
It's not anything crazy. Like,
okay,
Floyd Mayweather, this man at this point, he doesn't come outside for like at least $50 million.
Yeah.
When it comes to fighting.
Oh no.
He calls himself or his brand the Money Team.
Yep.
I think last week after the fight, he called himself a legal bank robber.
Yeah, he's like, I just rob people.
Okay, at this point, we gotta ask: is Floyd Mayweather broke? Did he gamble away all his money?
You know, this is a similar question I'd probably ask about Michael Jordan. and I like, seriously, like, I don't know. So the way people talk about being rich, where it's like there's like rich, and then there's like the faux bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could afford the aesthetic of wealth.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're rich. And I could see that for Floyd, for sure. I'm gonna be very careful with my words here, because I just talked about how much money it would take for me to willingly get punched by Floyd Money Mayweather in the face. And it's a lot. A lot. Because I don't want to do that. So let me not talk too much smack. May or may not be referring to some of the revelations that 50 Cent tried to bring to light once upon a time. But that's none of my business. It's none of my business.
We could definitely talk about that.
We definitely could, but should we? He's not going to listen to this.
Floyd Mayweather cannot read.
So, okay, there it is. There it is.
He can't read. All right, continue.
Yeah, okay. Because I was about to make a disclaimer, like, it does not affect his worth as a person. Although apparently he made...
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he dropped out of school in like 3rd grade.
Yeah, but he probably can't read.
No, he like actually can't read.
No,
Actually, it's kind of sad.
It's sad. That's what I was about to say. It's just sad. I don't even remember where you're going, but now I'm just sad about that. Damn. And 50 was going in on... I guess we got to talk about like some kind of beef every episode. Last time was Pusha, but like...
Yeah, this man said if you could read one page out of a Harry Potter book, that he'd donate like $100,000 or something like that. And we never saw him read the page.
Well, then again, now that we're getting full circle, right? 50 Cent absolutely was broke. Like, just before he was doing that, like, he declared bankruptcy. So, I don't know. It could be pot calling the kettle black. It could be it takes one to know one. I could see Floyd being...
Okay, so my thing is, all right, I don't think Floyd Mayweather is broke.
Okay.
Michael Jordan definitely isn't broke. We see the assets he has.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like the assets are like, if it was up to him.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan, he owns the Charlotte Hornets, and plus the Jordan brand is...
Yeah. The
Jordan brand is insane at this point.
Basically untouchable. It runs itself.
It's almost a luxury brand, which is kind of crazy considering
how it started. The baby blue Air Jordans that just...
Yeah, the Carolina blue.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan's a whole different story. For Mayweather, he doesn't clearly have those sort of appreciating assets that we see a lot of people with his net worth have. So for me, it's like, why does he keep taking these fights, honestly?
Honestly, that's kind of a good point, because didn't he like kind of retire? I don't know if those his words.
Yeah, so he retired And then his next 3 fights, quote unquote fights, were against Conor McGregor, who's not a boxer,
No.
the 17-year-old Japanese kid,
And Logan Paul,
who is obviously like he's a child.
He's a minor.
A 17-year-old.
That's why I use minor over. I mean, obviously they kind of mean the same thing.
This kid literally was crying when they were announcing the results of the fight.
That's horrible. He took 3 exhibition matches. I'd say the only one. Well, probably say only one. Okay. One of those people, 2 of those people, all of them were probably trained to take a punch to the face. I'd say only the last one probably deserved it. Well, I don't know about Conor, but whatever. Yeah, he's definitely punching under his weight, like literally under his weight class.
Yes.
Like all of those people are smaller than him.
Well, Logan Paul is like 40 pounds heavier than him.
That was true. I did remember seeing that.
But still. It's Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul.
Logan lasted every round though.
That's what I'm saying. He won.
Yeah, he won.
He
survived Floyd Mayweather, and he showed up with a rare Charizard Pokemon card on a chain that he wore. Dude, you know it's worth over $1 million now. And it was already like 1 of 3 in the world.
So that's... Wait, what? What kind of card is this?
It's like a first edition Charizard. Like Pokemon cards 3? Have gone like... Yeah, of that like printing. Yeah.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Maybe of that quality.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like...
I know when the whole... NFT boom was happening.
Oh, God.
He was recording himself open up Pokemon card packages and selling them as NFTs, and they're going for like $20,000, $10,000 each.
I literally just don't understand.
That was like 3 months ago, and now NFTs, like the overall NFT market, is down 90%.
Yep.
So everyone who bought some Logan Paul video NFTs, they're probably down bad right now.
Very down
I
bad.
would be sick to my stomach.
Sick to my stomach. I mean, I feel, some YouTube celebs finessed it just in time. Not the annoying orange. Like, they got flamed.
Annoying orange?
Yeah, he tried to sell the NFT of the first video, and people went in, but, I think the Nyan Cat people sold one too, but they dodged the smoke.
So, if you want to buy the NFT of the first,
first audio NFT
podcast, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Ooh, that value is gonna appreciate. Just wait, we're gonna have all our fans. Ray J's gonna be listening.
The market is down right now. It's the perfect time to buy it, and it's only up.
Buy to the moon, baby.
Invest
to the moon.
Invest in black business.
This is the new GameStop.
But yeah,
Donald Glover made some tweets a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, do you have like the direct quotes on those?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of conversation that got generated about it. He talks about canceling. I think it's a little up in the air in what respect he means it. Much of the conversation ended up being about cancel culture. But Caleb, can you get us with it?
Yeah, I have the direct quotes here, and it's a series of 3 consecutive tweets. And Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino,
homegirl rapper like the NASDAQ,
he tweeted, "Saw people on here having a discussion about how tired they were of reviewing boring stuff, TV and film. We're getting bored. We're getting boring stuff and not even experimental mistakes because people are afraid of getting canceled. So they feel like they can only experiment with aesthetic. Also because some of them know they're not that good."
Powerful stuff, honestly.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, hearing that for me, a lot of like when it was trending and everything was about, he's like, talking about cancel culture. And I think the best breakdown of what cancel culture actually is. Did you see that clip from Cat Williams? Last week?
No.
So Cat Williams was on, not the Joe Budden show.
The Joe Budden podcast?
Not the Joe Budden podcast. May it rest in peace. Fun fact, Caleb was like, we should start a podcast the day that the Joe Budden podcast, like, Titanic.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, this is kind of a resurrection, which is why you should totally buy the NFT. Just kidding. But I think he was on Charlemagne's show, and he talked about cancel culture, and he's basically like, no, it's literally like, you're a comedian, like your job is to make people experience joy or think about the world or like laughter. And I kind of think, thank you, I kind of think that it's a sign of like laziness, essentially, if you just want to coast off your old material forever when it just hurts people. Like, you can't come up with anything relevant. So I kind of feel like that's my thoughts on cancel culture anyway.
Do you think there's any merit to what Donald Glover tweeted about how people are, or creatives are, afraid to fully express?
I think yes and no. I guess I didn't read it as much about cancel culture as much as was literally, you won't get your project approved if you don't stay kind of safe in some ways. And not necessarily safe in terms of political correctness, but kind of like what your idea or show is about. Because I know right now he's filming Atlanta season 3 and 4 back to back.
Yeah.
And he's gotten like a lot of credit. I think due credit, honestly, for how experimental and like weird as hell that show is. So, you have the fact that the Teddy Perkins episode, or like the episode where they go to that weird German town in Georgia, and then like,
or the black white,
or like the black white, the transracial dude, looking like Felon DeGeneres. It's my favorite line in like any TV show in so long. But yeah, like all of that is the same show. That's crazy. And so having that kind of creative liberty to make a show where you can get that weird with it and get support, it's because people want to see stuff like that.
Yeah. But
the most popular genre of TV is cop procedurals, followed by, I think, reality TV. I'm also making these stats up, but it feels, I think,
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Right. So people don't want to do different stuff, not because they get canceled like for doing like something inappropriate, although I'm sure that's like a fear for a lot of people. But I kind of read it as people are afraid to do anything actually interesting or challenging to think about. So what they try and experiment with is how it looks.
Where is that fear coming from, though?
I think a lot of it is just kind of, and I was kind of thinking about this recently, like the homogenization of like taste. Like 20 years ago, if you had a TV show that you really liked and you like watch it as it was airing, there was no streaming service to kind of like rediscover it if you were born like 5 years later.
Yeah.
If there's no reruns, like stuff just kind of died. So you had these really divergent tastes over time that develop. People are like, oh, this was of my time, or the stuff that was created around then, I have this particular attachment to it, or it was part of my region, like slang was very regional, just stuff like that. But thanks to the internet, things have really clumped together.
Because we can really see
everything.
There's actual real data points on what people are interested in now.
Right.
And you can purchase it.
Yeah.
Data is the most valuable resource in the world now.
Exactly. People like Marvel comics. If you're Disney, you can just buy Marvel.
Yeah.
So essentially now, every Wednesday, as an example, Loki is going to trend for the next 4 or 5 weeks because everyone's going to be watching that show, which actually probably going to take us to our next topic, but I like to talk about this a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I guess it's like nothing really has to be challenged anymore if you know that if you have a big enough budget, like everyone's going to watch your stuff anyway. It's going to rule a discussion. Everyone kind of watches the same stuff. And I think it encourages people to get a little safe with it. So I guess that's how I took it.
I mean, no, I see where you're coming from. I think, so not super recently, but I watched a couple of comedy movies from the 2000s,
Uh,
where I feel like the 2000s kind of had a really big boom um, of comedy in general. I feel like that was
that was the time.
those were the blockbuster movies of that decade. I think
Yeah.
the past 10 years, the blockbuster genre has definitely been action movies.
For sure. Yeah, we haven't had like a comedy blockbuster in a very long time.
Very long
honestly.
time. I actually couldn't even. I really tried to think of one, and I couldn't think of any. And so two movies that I actually recently watched were Step Brothers
Okay.
and I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
I saw I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry for the first time. Really, it's my girlfriend's like favorite comedy or one of, and I had never
Really?
seen it. It's her and her grandma's like favorite movie, so she's like, we should watch this. And I was like, all right, dope.
And as problematic as that, let's stay on that movie for a second. As problematic as it is,
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, Kevin James, they essentially are acting as if they are a gay couple, so that
Kevin James can like keep.
They're both firefighters. If Kevin James were to ever be injured while working, you know, his children will have some sort of benefits.
Yeah.
And have a guardian
in case of the worst. Yeah.
In the worst case scenario. And that's the premise of the whole movie. And so you have two straight men acting as if they are gay.
Yeah.
And
they end up becoming like icons of the local gay community in their city. Which it's just happy Pride, by the way.
Yeah. So I only bring that movie up because I personally think it's hilarious. But I just don't see something like that being created today. Because I think directors, whatever publishing company that may be financing it, and even the actors that would be cast in the movie would just be too afraid of being canceled.
I guess that's kind of my follow-up. Like, is that a bad thing?
Is what a bad thing?
Like, if we never get a movie like I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry again, or at least with a similar premise.
I mean, that's a good question. I think, yeah. I mean, there's okay. So there's a fine line. I think there's a very, very fine line between something being comedic versus something being just crude and offensive and not funny. And it's very difficult to walk that line. There are comedians who I think do a great job at doing it, like Bill Burr. Bill
Burr's pretty good at it. I'd also say, not even for the time, I think even now, like Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then there are some comedians, honestly, more likely that you'll see at like local comedy clubs that kind of just go for that shock factor and aren't really funny. They're just kind of offensive.
Yeah.
And I'm not supportive of that at all. I'm just saying, like, transgressive shit to get or whatever reaction out of the crowd because they know they can.
Yeah.
And they can kind of mask it behind this film of comedy.
Right. It's like, I'm not actually like a bigot. Like, it's just jokes, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not supportive of that at all. But I think it's okay to joke about everything to a certain degree.
Yeah. No, listen, in that front I agree. I mean, I think there's this perception, or at least like I joke with my girlfriend all the time. Like, she's like, yo, like, you said some like wild stuff. And I don't know, I feel like the key to comedy, well, there's a bunch of theories of comedy. Obviously, it's all subjective, so your mileage may vary. But two of the ones that I think of a lot is, one is that tragedy plus time equals comedy. There is a way in which you could probably make a joke about really awful, like, real things and have it be funny if you one, put in the time to like make an intelligent joke about it, but also like as time passes on, the ability to speak about things that were once taboo. I think like being critical of the United States response to 9/11 was very much not a popular thing you could do immediately after
Yeah.
9/11.
Yeah.
But now, uh, I think that's just the funniest thing in the world because it's raw for many, but also it speaks to like a truth about a situation that was difficult to talk about at the time. Yeah. And then the other rule was like comedy should always punch up.
And what do you mean by that?
Punching up, like if you're gonna be like throwing like heat or whatever, it's usually best when it's either at your level of, I guess, like your social, political, economic, whatever, or punch like above. One, I think just on a purely like business standpoint is probably the most relatable, but also on the other, punching down is just kind of like,
Yeah.
this is already a situation with people who are oppressed, so
Like Mayweather.
yeah, I mean, he definitely was punching down on some of them. I'm sure they all want the same height. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, no one's like, oh, dude, that was sick. It's kind of like if you have a conscience, like, oh, wow, that was kind of just mean.
Yeah.
A little unnecessary. So I think Chuck and Larry's a weird case because I cannot speak for members of the LGBTQ community.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Me
but
neither.
yeah, but I remember like some of the reception around the film was kind of like, this was crude, dealt in some stereotypes, but I mean, it kind of has a heart.
Yeah.
And I don't say that for a lot of Adam Sandler's like later movies, because I mean, there was a point between like 2010, probably like 2018, where this dude was just asleep at the wheel. Like,
yeah,
every movie was just a free. I'm pretty sure he said on the record they were just free vacations for him and his friends. he was not trying. But I mean, even like the premise is kind of it's explicitly like pro gay marriage. It's explicitly like pro queer people.
Yeah.
Obviously, lacking a ton of nuance and tact about it, but
for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you could make a movie with a similar premise. I think the tone and the genre would probably be radically different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think comedy more so than any other creative outlet, honestly, whether it be dance,
Yeah.
art, other sort of
Film
genres, action, horror, whatever, and everything in between. I think comedy has a very unique ability to sort of bridge the gap between extremely uncomfortable topics that are rarely addressed, but everyone in the room is kind of thinking about.
Right.
And like actually starting that conversation. If that makes sense. And so
yeah, it does.
And it's nice to sort of have that outlet without it being awkward, without it being super serious. And it's like an icebreaker, right?
Yeah.
When you're meeting someone for the first time, you're not going to start talking about politics. You're not going to start talking about religion. You're not going to start talking about how much money you make.
The controversial.
You want there to be some sort of comedic outlet. You want there to be some sort of laughs exchange so that you can kind of ease yourself into that conversation. Yeah. I think the genre of comedy allows people to do that into whatever the conversation may be.
Exactly.
But I think, the overall quality of that genre has decreased a little bit over the past couple of years. And I think it is largely due to cancel culture.
And I think I would add into that I think that's a big part of it, but I also think that this is sort of the prelude to not even the prelude to, because I think it's happening now. A comedy just adapting, because I do think like in the early 2000s, comedy was king. Even before that, like there was a ton of like blockbuster like comedy films.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? Thinking about like the vacation films. There was what is it called? American Pie. Like a lot of like sex comedies were really big. Comedy in general was just dominating.
Yeah, stand-up comedians were going on world tours and selling out stadiums.
Right. The last comedian we have who really does that is Kevin Hart. And no offense to Kevin Hart fans, he has like 3 jokes. 3 jokes. 3 jokes. 3 jokes. And they all come from the fact that he's short. They're not all about the fact that he's short, but they all start there.
Uh-huh.
And then he cheated on his wife. Twice. Well, cheated on one wife. Cheating on the other one.
Oh,
no man. Celebrity is saved. Man. Celebrity is saved.
Kevin Hart. You gotta do it like that.
I gotta say it like it is.
All right. So, okay. Like, what are your thoughts on cancel culture in general?
Like I said, I feel like, and I want to pull up the Cat Williams clip. I don't know if we could get it in this episode. We'll watch it after. But the gist of it is essentially that, as comedians, you have to be flexible and grow. And that's kind of where I feel like comedy is at right now. I think it's at a point where it's going to really blossom, and already has blossomed into some really interesting comedy that often is like really dark. Like, what's a good example? Rick and Morty is probably like the most, like the biggest comedy cartoon right now. And I think it's primarily a comedy.
It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
Family Guy and American Dad and Bob's Burgers. Those shows are surprisingly like super big still.
They're super big. I mean, Family Guy's been a zombie for like 6 seasons. But Bob's Burgers is legitimately great. And hot take, American Dad is the best show that Seth MacFarlane has ever been involved in.
That is a hot take. That's a real hot take. It's not the first person I've heard say that.
I promise it's not a hot take if you watched any of the recent stuff. That show is amazing. American Dad slaps. That's my hot take for the day. Let's leave that out there.
What were you saying about Rick and Morty?
Oh, right. But Rick and Morty's huge.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And they have a lot of, I mean, it's by Dan Harmon, who did Community, and he just loves like meta stuff, stories about the arcs that people go through or don't go through. So I think he's been able to get a lot of that into a package where almost everybody enjoys it, even though a lot of the jokes have like people getting murdered as punchlines.
Yeah.
Or like there's at least like 3 jokes that pop up in my head that are about incest. That it's like weird how often it's come up. I'm got my eyes on some of these writers, but dark stuff.
Yeah.
Dark stuff, and they make it funny, and people love it.
Yeah.
And like, I just feel like I'm expecting 5 years from now, or whenever Rick and Morty is over, one day someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you couldn't make Rick and Morty now," and I'm like, "Shut up." Yes, you could. There's some stuff you couldn't make now.
Okay,
but not all. I think a lot of it you could.
Do you think Rick and Morty is given more leeway because it is an animated show versus a live action show?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been on the air for like almost 20 years.
Okay, I've never seen that show, so
remember when we were like 3 weeks ago?
Yes.
So the homies came back, and there was that clip that he showed us where it was like the implication stuff. That's It's Always Sunny. And that was early. They've only done wilder stuff since then. There's like a trilogy of episodes with him in blackface. Yeah. And it totally works. I don't know about totally. Again, I don't want to give too much of the benefit of the doubt to admittedly very funny white people who I'm sure are doing their best, but I'm sorry. I just don't believe you can just like not be racist that many years in a row, at least a couple times. Despite your best intentions, the odds just aren't in your favor.
Yeah.
So I think the show's hilarious. I've seen a lot of it. I want to watch more. And it's as you saw, like they're joking about some really messed up stuff. But the joke is that they're all awful people.
Yeah.
I think the difference with like some jokes that people are like, oh, you can't make anymore. It's kind of like the joke isn't that I'm an awful person for saying this. It's that, oh, these people are awful because of some crap they can't control, or they're like a punchline to laugh at.
Do you think people deserve to be canceled?
I mean, what does canceling mean? Like, I'll say this. No, I'm serious.
No, that is a good question.
It's a good question because there's a range. I feel like we talk about cancel culture for someone like Roseanne Barr. And is that Roseanne Barr? Is that her last name?
I don't even know who Roseanne Barr is, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, she had a show called Roseanne, and
Roseanne. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, that Roseanne, right?
Okay,
so it got canceled because it got revived on ABC, and then it got canceled, literally canceled.
See, another 2000s comedy sitcom.
Oh my god! Well, not it was 2010s. It was like 3 years ago.
No, it came back 3 years ago.
No, it got canceled 3 years ago. It came back like 5 years ago.
No, but Roseanne was airing when we were like kids.
Yeah, it was airing when we were kids, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
They did a revival in like 2017.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then 2018, they canceled the revival and renamed it The Connors. And then they were just like, oh, Roseanne died on the way back to her home planet. But she said some super ultra racist stuff. And it was basically like, oh, I was off the Ambien. And it's like, okay.
What? What did she say? What did she say?
Okay, let me Google. Stall for a second. What was Roseanne canceled for? I'm gonna find this out.
I will. I mean, while you look that up, I'll just give some quick thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Some people 1000% deserve to be canceled.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I think the people that deserve to be canceled are the ones that honestly just should be in jail. And I'm talking about the R. Kellys of the world.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the Tory Lanes of the world. The
Tory Lanes, the Bill Cosbys.
The Bill Cosbys of the world.
Nah, assaulting black women getting away with it for fucking decades. Like, no.
But other than that, and then there's the racist people and
mm-hmm.
and the homophobic people and
this is what I'm asking. Like, who's left? I'm serious.
I mean, yeah, but other than that, I just feel like everyone's gonna make mistakes, especially if you're a public figure, where every aspect of your life is gonna be on camera in some way, shape, or form, whether that's TV, social media, or anything in between, film,
mm-hmm.
or TMZ just running up on you at any point in time. At the end of the day, we're all human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible for you to put up your best face 24/7.
Yeah, no way. And especially when you're expected to basically have your life be able to be accessed by anyone and everyone in some way.
Yeah.
No matter what, for the rest of your life.
And I don't think people should be punished for that permanently.
No.
If they have a 30-second lapse, Yeah. Okay, so we have the quote.
Yeah, we have the Roseanne, and I'm like, wow, this is really bad. But yeah, this is from the New York Times. This happened back in 2018. ABC abruptly canceled Roseanne hours after Miss Barr, the show's star and co-creator, posted a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett, an African-American woman who was a senior advisor to Barack Obama throughout his presidency and considered one of his most influential aides. Miss Barr wrote, if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ.
Wow. Yeah, see...
that's fucking disgusting.
I'm not mad at Roseanne being canceled.
Yeah, I mean, fuck her.
I'm not mad at that. Because, that has absolutely nothing to do with what Donald Glover was talking about in his tweets.
Yeah. And I mean, it's Roseanne. It's a multi-camera
creative
sitcom.
expression. That's just straight up being racist.
Yeah, it's just vile shit. But this is what I ask, right? Like, what is an example of someone who has been canceled in the way that Donald Glover is referring to, where it's like it stopped them from making good art beyond like aesthetic?
I don't think I don't think there's a super clear example off the
Mhm.
top of my head.
Probably like
I
smaller
think-
scale stuff we
Yeah,
know about.
but I think it's the fear of being canceled in the future,
Mhm.
off of something that you produce and put out to the world that stops people from fully expressing themselves or minimizing whatever joke that they were going to create.
Mm.
So we don't ever actually see that come to fruition because of that fear.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like what could have been,
Exactly.
and we'll never know. Yeah, I suppose. I kind of feel like what we have gotten has been pretty. And when he was talking about aesthetic, right? The person who came to mind for me, and I have a lot of smoke for this creative in general. Not that all of her stuff is bad. Lena Waithe. So then on Amazon Prime, you know, an anthology series. The first season is about a black family moving to Compton. I refuse to watch it just because it's apparently a ghost story, but the main thrust of the conflict is racism displayed in like horrifically graphic detail
Hmm.
for all to ponder. She also made Queen and Slim, which is a film about a black couple who do some kind of incident, accidentally like shoot and kill a police officer. And
That
they're on the
movie
run.
traumatized me. I've seen it once. I don't think I can ever watch it again.
So I never watched it, and I'm really
You
glad I
haven't
didn't.
watched it?
No, I haven't watched Queen and Slim, and unlike with them,
You have.
I did not know. What I was getting
I'm
into.
saying I got traumatized from that movie, but I'm also saying it's a must watch at the
Okay,
same time.
so I'm gonna ask you a question about the movie.
Okay.
And you can feel free to spoil it for me. If you don't want to get spoiled for this movie for whatever reason, I'll put something in the description. You can skip this. Do they die at the end of it?
One person dies.
Okay, I'm good.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm good. No, straight up.
I think
I'm good.
I could be wrong. I could be remembering it wrongly. But one person definitely dies. They might both die. And I am just traumatized and don't remember fully.
Yeah, I mean, trauma, your brain actively tries to protect you.
But at least
Yeah.
one of them dies, possibly both of them.
See, and this, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And unlike with, say, something like, God, When They See Us, right? That's a story about the Central Park Five.
Yeah, that's
the true story. And you were the one who told me, like, because I think it was right after it had come out. I was like visiting you at Columbia.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and you were like, "Yeah, it's crazy." And the lawyer from that show was actually like teaching at the school at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't now. But yeah, it was just that was real, and obviously your mileage may vary. If you want to watch the truth of life for Black people, and you are Black, I'm specifying that because I think there's a bit of a different relationship to it if you're not. But only a bit. I think that's your prerogative. Like, feel free. I think recently I'm just kind of
Burnt out.
I'm burnt out, and it's not that I'll never be into any of it again. Like, I think I've heard some very convincing arguments for watching the Underground Railroad from Barry Jenkins, the guy who did Moonlight, and what's it called? Beale Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like a really good director, and it's about the Underground Railroad, clearly. But I've heard really good things. I'll consider it.
I'll say so. Only two, my whole life, only two pieces of film have ever made me cry. One of them is When They See Us, 4-part film on Netflix, like you said, about the Central Park 5 story. Extremely sad. The second one is Toy Story 4.
Bro, we talked about this recently too. Toy Story 4.
Forky, man, he
Wait, you cried about Forky?
He just wrenches the heart.
Wait, you cried about Forky?
I actually don't remember what specifically I cried about when I was watching.
I cried about.
Well, what were you crying about?
Dude, the ending. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a sad movie.
Oh, it's a sad
we're not gonna spoil that one.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil that one. You guys should watch Toy Story 4. It's really good. But I was like sobbing in the theater. Kids were staring at me. It was embarrassing for my girlfriend, not me. I was having a moment.
I mean, you did bring up a good point though, in that there has been a new wave of Black cinematography where we have Black directors, Black lead actors, Black supporting cast,
right,
the whole 9. But so often those movies are just filled with Black trauma,
right,
that makes it so extremely difficult to watch. Like, why can't we just have like the Fast and Furious and it's just Black people?
I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, we used to get movies where everyone was Black behind and in front of the camera, and it was about like shit. Like, Coming to America existed in the 80s. Like, and we got a mix. I think recently the resurgence has been like, oh, we need to like recontextualize this, like our trauma in a way. But I feel like the trauma is thought of specifically from the lens of, obviously, if this is your situation, this is your situation, of Black people who grew up around white people, which in part, like, we were. I specify, like, part, definitely. Yeah, because we spent
once we were 14 years old.
Yeah, this PWIs, right, and we sought out other people of color to be around, but it definitely affected my perspective on things, and I think my own racial identity in a way where I was kind of like really introspective about the trauma or reality being Black, but that is definitely not all there is to it at all. And so I just think it's kind of derivative. And that's when he's talking about aesthetic, it's like you can make these shows as pretty as you want, but when you're showing me like a reflection of my mother and my brotder or my family being tortured, it's like, what is this doing to me? It's fucking me up. Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that either.
I don't want to see it. I definitely see the cinematic integrity of it.
Right.
You've
done your research.
I 1000% understand the message.
I don't even know if I go that far.
I usually understand the message, and I usually understand the goal of those type of films, or just creative outlets in general. But also, it's just too much. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out.
It's too much.
I got enough trauma in my personal life to be.
That's what
be traumatized by some entertainment at this point.
It really could have just been the last year, but like Antebellum and Lovecraft Country dropped at the same time. Bruh, I watched all of that and I was like, oh my god, my soul. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
This portion of the episode contains major, indiscriminate spoilers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If for whatever reason, you have not seen the movies or the show The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, skip to the 1 hour 12 minute 44 second mark. Love ya.
Yeah, I did. The first YouTube video I did was like 40 minutes about specifically Lovecraft, but like life trauma and stuff. Check that out if you're interested. But we should talk about something a little lighter.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, what do you want to move on to?
Honestly, so we have Invincible on this list. We watched at different times the Amazon series based off the comic book Invincible. Speaking of trauma, Jesus. But I don't know about you. I would love to jump into that. I kind of want to talk the MCU.
We can save that. We can save that topic for another day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this MCU topic. You want to introduce it?
Yes, I would love to introduce it. So, you were thinking, I was thinking of ideas to talk about the MCU. So, there's a new MCU show out now, their third one, Loki, starring Tom Hiddleston. The greasy boy is back.
Disney Plus, but no sponsorship.
No again. Disney Plus, no sponsorship.
We would take a. Hey,
I would take a Disney Plus sponsorship.
We'll take it.
I won't even talk about how y'all monopolized everyone's childhoods. But, absolutely, I'm a big Star Wars head, bro. Get me on the volume. Put me in Mandalorian season 3. Like, please, I'm begging you. But the MCU, I wanted to talk about it this week, but I didn't want to spoil too much of anything. So my girlfriend has never seen the Marvel movies.
None of them at all.
She did not know who the Hulk was. We were watching the.
You're lying. You're lying.
You can ask her after.
How do you not know who the Incredible?
We were
Hulk
watching
is?
the Incredible Hulk, the movie, and she was like,
The
"So
actual
what?"
movie.
She said, "So what is the Hulk?"
Bro,
Like when he was beating people up, she's like, "Oh, so that's the Hulk."
I honestly, I don't believe you.
You don't have to. You know what else is crazy? She had never seen Star Wars.
Okay,
So we watched the original.
That's more believable.
That's more, but she didn't even know about the twist. I have it on camera.
That's still more believable than not knowing who the Incredible Hulk is.
She'd only seen Spider-Man. Like the Sam Raimi stuff. And I took her to see Far From Home, which was unfortunate because Iron Man's her favorite character now. So that's the only thing she knows about him and how it ends up.
All right, so where were you going?
Where was I going? So basically, we made a Google Doc that we actively update every time we finish a movie, and we're ranking them. But we ranking them on a few categories. Best, ranking the movies, ranking villains.
Yeah.
We even rank romances by who the most down bad is.
Yeah.
So far, it's Natalie Portman, and it's disgusting.
In which movie?
Thor 1 and 2. It's actually so gross. It's like, girl, stop. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing me, and I'm watching. But all this to say, Caleb, I wanted to talk who is the most mid in the MCU. Just the trashiest character, superhero, non-superhero, powers, no powers, whatever. Who is just the most mid? And I'm gonna assume. Have you seen any of the shows yet?
Yeah, I've seen. Actually, I've only seen Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Captain Falcon.
Falcon Punch.
There you go.
I haven't seen
WandaVision.
I haven't seen WandaVision. And I haven't seen the first episode of Loki yet.
Okay, that's
but
cool.
I do plan on catching up on both of them.
Yeah, so we can spoil through Captain America, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and feel free to spoil through on both of the shows. Like,
I think WandaVision especially it's fun to go in like a little blind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like last episode, I feel like before revealing our answers, I think we gotta talk about some candidates first.
Oh, absolutely. Just the absolute trash. So who's first? I'll say the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is obviously a low blow. Hawkeye, mid as fuck. No.
All right.
I'm sorry, bro.
Hawkeye. Okay. Hawkeye is mid for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when we get to our final answers, it has to be someone that has their own movie and or TV show.
Okay.
Because at this point, Hawkeye is kind of just like a
supporting character. Saying Hawkeye's getting a TV show. It's coming out this year.
Okay, let's go with movie.
Okay, fair.
They have to have their own movie.
Do they have... Okay, so it has to be their movie. So we're talking main character energy only.
Yes.
For the candidates.
Yes.
Okay, that narrows it down. There's a lot of characters. So that narrows it down.
Yes.
Most mid.
So who are some characters out there?
Do supporting characters who are also in these movies count?
They can. It can't be Hawkeye, bro. Hawkeye is whack.
Damn. Jeremy Renner gets no respect, but I don't know if he deserves it, so I don't feel bad about that.
Okay, so let's just list some names. Not that these are candidates. I'm gonna just list some names.
Okay, and then we'll respond as they popcorn out.
So just some characters who are
the Incredible Hulk.
In the MC universe, we got the Incredible Hulk. We have Iron Man. We have Captain America. We have
mid.
Thor. We have Ant-Man.
Not mid.
We got Black Panther. Spider-Man. Who am I missing? We got Black Widow.
It's not fair to call her mid. It's actually not. I don't think it is. I honestly think she's a little. She deserves some more respect on her name. No, seriously. But yeah.
Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone?
I mean, you basically listed most of the OG of it. I mean, Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange.
Captain Marvel. Wasp. Who else? all of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We can include some villains in there too. We got Thanos.
Mid.
What?
Mid.
What?
Mid.
All right, we'll get back to that. Deadpool. You know,
Deadpool's not MCU yet. He
not
will be.
MC. Okay, yeah, that's true. We got Bucky.
Mid.
Guardians of the Galaxy characters.
If I had to get specific,
You can't say everyone is mid, bro.
I'm not calling all the mid. I'm saying Drax is mid.
Okay, we have obviously Falcon
He was mid.
and Loki, Gamora. All right, so off of who we've mentioned, who's the
most mid?
who's the most whack?
Oh, just whack. Okay. Okay, let me think about. Let me talk through it. Okay, so the first person I said was mid was the Incredible Hulk, and let me explain my reasoning because people are gonna. First of all, I am a fan of the recast. I think Edward Norton did a decent job in the Incredible Hulk movie, but now Mark Ruffalo is the Hulk to me. Like,
Yeah.
he kills it.
He's a good Hulk.
He's a great Hulk. He's a great Bruce Banner. Mid. I'm sorry, bro. I was in a packed theater full of friends and loved ones, and when I saw him get clapped by Thanos in Infinity War, bro, never seen
They cheered.
Oh my god, no, they ain't cheer. Everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Grimace ain't playing. Like, nah, Thanos two-pieced him. That was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. I was like, "Yo, I did not pay this much." Then Hulk was scared the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Couldn't even. Oh, come on. Mid. I'll say this: the Hulk is mid.
Okay.
Bruce Banner is actually like,
Okay.
puny Banner deserves
All
some
right.
respect.
Okay. You also said Thanos is mid. You're gonna have to explain.
I'm
that one.
also correct. Thanos is mid.
How?
Thanos is mid as hell.
How?
Bro, he's lazy.
He's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
In what way?
First of all, you know how many fights he could have just. He should have just ended from jump. Like, listen, I understand it's a movie. We're here to be entertained.
Yeah.
But also, the MCU is just a giant toy box of the craziest shit ever. And they just throw billions of dollars in the special effects budget.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen, I know it's a spectacle. We got to make it drawn out and everything. But Thanos, by the time he had, the Power Stone? I'm pretty sure that's like the first one he got. The movie's over. It's power as a concept. No, you're done. You're done. And he had the reality. He was snapping people into ribbons, turning people into bubbles. Like, shut up, bro. No, Spider-Man didn't kick him in his fucking face. Like, he's done. He's paced on the sidewalk. He's mid.
Okay, so you're saying he's mid because he had the power.
He's lazy, bro.
He had all-encompassing power, and he was lazy and not.
I guess on one level,
it.
he did it like it was a religious pilgrimage. He dropped the armor. He's like, I'm gonna go hand to hand on Hulk because this green boy ain't nothing on me. But I just
there's a lot of people out there who think Thanos was right.
Are they right to think
that
was Thanos right?
There's an interesting conversation there where if 50% of the population did just disappear,
we would be fucked. We would be really fucked if 50% of the population disappeared. We lose that much biodiversity, we're fucked.
Diversity.
Biodiversity.
Oh, biodiversity.
Yeah, not Yo, imagine. Like, so many, right-wing idiots are like, oh my god, the Great Replacement, like, they're trying to replace us, so we gotta get rid of critical race theory, blah, blah, blah. What if Thanos just snapped and it was like, all white people disappear? Yo. Crazy, bro. I'd be like, yo, that's fucked up, but wow. Yo, we're mad at us. Homie Thanos, look at him. Man, you're talking about Antifa. I'm talking about them Infinity Stones. Y'all worried about the wrong shit. Y'all worried about the wrong people.
Alright, I'm not gonna say Thanos was right, but
you gonna say he was wrong?
I'm not gonna say he was wrong either. Humans are destroying the Earth.
But this is the problem. Like, Thanos was taking that shit intergalactic.
That is true.
Half of life in the universe
Yeah, that's
And it's like,
that's a
damn,
good point.
I think you have a great case for Earth being wasteful, but you know, as history has shown us, and just ethics, genocide is always bad, always. And homie was like, you know what? Not just Earth, everybody. Like, honestly, his whole problem was like, on my planet, we ran out of resources. I suggested a batshit insane genocide idea,
Yeah.
and they weren't fucking with it. Bro, if you want the stones so damn bad, just make more resources for your planet.
Yeah, I feel like
Bring
feel
them
like
back.
I need to make it clear because I don't support genocide in any way. Shape,
No,
or form.
you did.
Actually, shout out, Free Palestine.
Yeah, Free Palestine.
1000% Free Palestine.
This is not a Zionist podcast.
No, not at all.
No.
And I feel like I had to draw that boundary.
No, yeah.
But if there was a way where 50% of the population just happened to disappear, almost as if they didn't exist before.
So rapture type beat.
Like not that they're getting killed or murdered,
but it's just they just kind of
or completely erased. It's just
like the
they never existed.
Okay. Turn to dust.
Turn to dust. I think the Earth would heal itself a little bit.
Okay, so your team, the Flag Smashers, basically.
If Thanos were to snap, do you think you would survive?
You want to find out right now? I'm not kidding. Look, I think it was called "Did I Survive?" Yeah, the snap. Somebody made. Yeah, did Thanos kill me? Did Thanos kill me? Did Thanos kill me? There we go. Okay, so I just did it, and it said you were slain by Thanos for the good of the universe. If I hit refresh, I'll tell you if you survived or not.
Yeah, let's see it. Yeah, see, I survived.
All right, so if Thanos snapped right now, clearly Caleb would be left to take over the podcast, and I would disappear into the aether for at least 5 years.
This is what I was talking about. You guys would be left with just me, and the podcast would improve.
How? Who are you replacing me? It's my apartment. It's my microphone. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Oh, that's messed up, man.
Nah, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I love my buddy over here.
Yeah.
I would be sad if you disappeared and turned to dust.
It'd be sad as fuck.
So, all right. So, back to the original topic.
Who's mid? Okay, the most mid. Who else did we talk about? How do you feel about Thor? Is Thor mid? Is Thor whack?
Let me hear your choice.
My choice. Like I have to choose one right now.
I mean, we can keep talking about candidates, but eventually we each gotta choose someone.
That's true. It's so hard to narrow it down. This is the most whack. I think I'm gonna keep it to Earth, so I'm gonna keep the Guardians of the Galaxy out of this one.
Yep.
Just because I mean they're all fine. I don't think any okay, maybe Peter, maybe Star-Lord. He's a little whack, but I'm not gonna hold.
I like what's his name? Chris what? The actor?
Pratt?
Chris Pratt? I like Chris Pratt.
He's alright.
You're not a fan?
He's alright.
Nah,
I just think he's fine.
I think he's kind of funny.
He's fine. No, I think he's entertaining to watch. You know what? Honestly, an actor that's getting really irritating for me, I'm actually kind of not excited for them to be part of the MCU. Ryan Reynolds, man.
You don't like him?
He's starting to grate on me.
Yeah, but how so?
I don't know. It's his voice.
His voice?
Yeah, I can't quite pin it down. It wasn't doing it for me.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds just seems like a person who thinks they're really, really funny.
Right.
Without actually always being funny.
Right. But they always talk as if you were laughing at whatever they just said.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh. Would we be friends in real life? I mean, let's be honest. Probably not. But not because I would think he's lame. I think he's not stressed about it.
No, I think I actually, I could very much be wrong in this. Wait, who's Ryan Reynolds married to? It's another celebrity, right?
Blake Lively?
Blake Lively, yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Blake Lively, and I'm also very sure that they got married on a plantation.
Ooh. Yo, I was just thinking about Blake Lively. He was married to Scarlett Johansson. Wait a minute, what?
Really?
He was married to Scarlett Johansson?
Damn.
Wow, Black Widow, what?
Damn, man.
That's crazy.
Damn, man's getting around.
Damn.
All right. Anyway,
yeah. What were we saying?
You were saying that Ryan Reynolds is whack.
The Plantation. Yeah, he is whack for that. Whack points. You can't get married on a plant. Not hot take.
That's not a hot take. Don't get married on a plantation.
That's an order. Period. Yeah. No. Slaves. Slavery. God, what is wrong with you people? I'm not assuming that you guys want to get married on plantations, but just don't. Just don't. That's bad. Ugh. Oh, it's so pretty. Fine. Outside's everywhere, I promise.
There's a lot of pretty places.
You
know, it don't have to be the plantation.
Talking about, it's just so scenic. Yeah, you know what else is scenic, bro? Them cotton fields.
The beach.
Go to the beach. Married on the sand.
Go to the beach. Find a farm.
Literally a farm. And make sure it was just a farm. Always a farm. Please. Oh, if I find out, if you're any fan of this show, if you're subscribed, which you should, we probably should have put that plug in earlier.
Subscribe,
follow,
follow,
subscribe.
Put a like below.
Write a little comment. Write a little comment.
Share with your friends.
You should write how you think Caleb's beard looked while we were recording this episode. You should write that as a little
probably
note.
Can't see this though.
No, I'm saying they can't, so they gotta guess.
Bro, my beard is always A1. You ain't gotta guess.
Guess anyway. Write a little comment. Put a little kissy face emoji in there. Like, show some love. But yeah, like, if I find out any of y'all got married on a plantation, you're dead to me. If you're gonna get married at all, don't do it on a plane. Don't even visit. Don't even stop that. Disgusting.
It really should not be a conversation.
But we gotta talk. Apparently, we have to say it.
Oh, someone has to say it, and someone with a bigger platform than us has to say it.
Right. I need somebody to say it with their chest,
because it's actually just not acceptable to get married on a plantation.
Who would be the best candidate to say that if not? Okay,
Kanye.
Not Kanye. Whoa! Oh my god! I should have wrote. This was actually something trending yesterday. I was like, I should talk about this on the podcast. You see that he's moved on?
What do you talk about?
Kanye.
He has another woman.
He's with another person, another woman in his life, a supermodel.
Hey, I mean, he's not in a relationship anymore. I want him to be happy. You know, I want everyone to be happy. So
I guess that I want everyone to be happy at the end of the day too. Hey, I don't even know my full thoughts on. I guess I'm surprised. I didn't expect it so quick, but it does seem like Kanye, was very much speeding through this divorce and the proceedings leading up to it ever since the Chris Jong-un tweet. So, I guess.
But he said he was in the sunken place.
That was the single best day I've ever been on Twitter in my life. I don't know if anything will ever get better than that. I just didn't know how to process if that was a real thing that he tweeted. He said he was in the sunken place. Have you ever been in the sunken place, Caleb?
Have I ever? Hell no. That's the short answer. Hell no.
What's the long answer?
The short answer is hell to the
hell to the no. Hey.
There's no long answer. I've never been in the sunken place.
Yeah, me neither.
I've seen some folks in there though. Some folks, they got a little lost in the sauce. Some people,
yeah, I was about to say, people get lost in the sauce. It's too much sauce. I don't know. I feel like
they tend to make themselves background though.
That's true. They chill in the back. Just being I don't ever obviously I'm young, but I have no intentions of ever being in this situation. Like, I don't ever want to be the token friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at this point it's impossible with the trajectory of how I socialized myself. But no, dude, if I'm the only black guy there, only black person,
I mean, okay, so honestly, the real answer, the long answer, is that I've been going to predominantly white institutions since like when I was in school, at least through high school all the way through college.
yeah,
And so there were definitely instances where I was the only black person in the room. Um, Oftentimes in class,
yeah.
and honestly, in most of my classes, some of the the dorm halls that I've lived on. In college, like I joined a frat, which I wasn't the only black person in the frat, but there were only a couple of us out of the lot. That's a whole different story for another day.
That would be a great
Yeah.
episode.
And sometimes I definitely found myself conforming to whatever the standards of the environment were.
Yeah, code
to
switching.
to kind of, yeah, exactly, code switching to fit in, to feel comfortable, to feel unintimidating. I've actually been told by some people that I'm an intimidating person, which is kind of ridiculous to me.
That's
because for me, I'm the most harmless person in the world.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And so 1000%, I have code switched, and like fairly often, honestly. But you will not see me in the sunken place.
No, sir. No, sir. I mean, it's funny, in high school, there was a guy we used to hang out with, and he once told me I was the least intimidating black person he knew. Which, I didn't study psychology, but I probably would have had to have like 4 years of that to even start unpacking how fucked up that was. But, stuff like that, yeah, it just kind of sticks with you. And I feel like when you go to PWIs, there's kind of 3 responses you can have in terms of how you socialize. You either just kind of like stay mostly yourself, and you do your best, you code switch when you have to, but for the most part, you find community with people who care about you, and more often than not, those end up being other people of color. A mix, but yeah, mostly. Or there's kind of like you completely lean into it, for better or for worse. So you definitely might have some associates who are, brown like you, but a lot of your community is going to be white students or other white people, and that's sort of like your collective support system, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And then like the third option is just kind of you go ghost, and like no one knows the hell you are until you graduate. But you found whatever you were doing, you found your crew, however that may be. And that's how it worked out. And so I feel like I was always in the first group in high school and in college.
Which was?
The first group being, I mostly found my community. I was a part of the black student groups, and just a lot of the stuff I was doing was just around other brown people. So I had a lot of social connections, for sure. But I'd say like a lot of my classes were like all white students, but I also concentrated in Africana studies. So a lot of like my classmates were also my friends, and a lot of us were black. So, obviously have as many friends as you want, but I don't think I've ever really been in the sunken place. I've definitely seen the shore of that. Definitely seen the shore, seen many walk in and never walk out. Maybe even had the waves touch my toes when necessary. These housing groups are random and based off the demographics of the school, in their own words. So it was like me, 2 other black people, and then like everyone was white. Yeah. And there's definitely some cool people I met there, but then there would be moments where like, oh, somebody should rap, and everyone simultaneously turns their heads towards me, and I'm like, oh wow, so I have to not like be in this building for a month because that was a lot. I don't want to deal with that. That's weird.
You didn't spit some fire for them, bro?
No, I have, first of all, I have no bars in general. In general, I have no bars. And second of all, they would know that if they knew me as a person and not my skin color.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, never been in the second place either. Gang.
All right. On that note, I'm gonna go pee real quick, and then we're gonna wrap up the MCU conversation.
Yes, we will.
We haven't made our picks yet.
Go pee, man.
All right, let me go pee.
The next section spoils Black Panther, but literally everyone saw that. LOL, he'll be fine.
Although, you know who I just realized, and this is legitimately a hot take,
Oh, okay.
who probably the most whack character in the MCU is, if we take it into the context of the history of the world?
Okay, I'm kind of scared by this answer.
It's Black Panther.
Whoa,
yep.
Whoa.
I told you it was actually a hot take.
Whoa, that's a...
So first of all, let me start by saying Chadwick Boseman was an amazing gift to the world in general. May he rest in peace. And this is purely about the character himself. Not even about the character as much as it is Wakanda as a concept. And how you can't really have Wakanda and then have a world that is functionally similar to our own. You can say that for a lot of Marvel history things.
What do you mean by that?
So you're telling me the most scientifically advanced nation on Earth. And when I say scientifically advanced, I'm purely thinking about their military, although that's not the only aspect in which vibranium changed their whole shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exists in the middle of in the middle of the continent that was underdeveloped not by the Kardashians, but by a series of empires out of Europe. Like, literally fucking pillaged. The consequences of which we deal with to this day.
Yeah.
And they were all chilling.
And they just allowed that to happen?
They allowed it to happen. Not only that, going off the movie Black Panther, T'Challa realizes the hypocrisies of this after his conflict with Killmonger, right? And he's like, okay, Killmonger had a great point. I'm going to take some of that forward. So he goes to the UN. The UN...
Mm-hmm.
Which, not a hot take, the UN is kind of useless when one of the most powerful nations on Earth, the U.S. government, does not submit to any of its rulings.
That's kind of a hot take.
I mean, it kind of is. Well, not that... Let me say the UN isn't useless. It's that the whole point is sort of like, you know, really consider the way other nations harm other nations. Like, the United States does not submit itself to the Hague. There's no international court that affects the U.S., there's no accountability that the U.S. actually has to face as a result of the UN.
Yeah.
So he went there, and that's not even the part that I'm really upset about. Then he goes to Oakland, and he opens a community center. Bro, I really don't care if I go to the Wakandan embassy and they have the newest MacBook. I'm still poor. Okay? Like, can I move to Wakanda?
Actually, now that you do bring this up, like, why is this man going to Oakland and opening up a community center?
It's just because the guy he killed was from there.
Not giving some of that vibranium to, like, the rest of Africa.
Bro, listen to me. If every Black person from the Caribbean, from South America, North America, if the entire African diaspora, forget reparations, if we all just got, like, a pound of vibranium...
It's a wrap?
It's a wrap! It's a wrap! And, you know, Killmonger was like, you know, give him robo-spears and super planes. And, you know, he was talking about, you know, arming the Black proletariat and everything. May or may not have some weight to it. I mean, they definitely wrote him to be super misogynist, so that was never going to go well with Super Hotep in charge. I'm just saying...
Killmonger? Wait, I don't remember. Wait.
Killmonger was beating the shit out of women the whole movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude, it's like the first thing I noticed watching. Okay, so remember the museum, right?
Yeah.
He pulls up with Claw and like his girlfriend or whatever. Who's the only Black American woman in the movie.
Yeah.
Bro, he shoots her. He's like, there's not enough room on the plane, sis.
Okay.
I'm only going to carry one dead body. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, kills her. Then when he pulls up to Wakanda takes over, he like beats the shit out of all those village elders who were all women who were growing the plants that gave him his superpowers. Then he burnt it. Bro, then the big fight at the end, You know the only person he directly kills?
Who?
One of the Dora Milaje.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, bro. Slits her throat in front of the homegirls. They made him misogynist as hell so we would not like him.
I
Listen.
never realized that.
Yeah,
before.
if you think about his whole body count is women. It's black women. They put Tory Lanez in the movie and thought we wouldn't notice.
Wow.
They put Chris Brown in the movie and thought we wouldn't notice.
Wow.
We noticed.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
That is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's intentional. He was making too many points.
Damn, Michael B.
Jordan. That's why, he's in that fake relationship with Lori Harvey. He's got to do some PR. People really think he hates women.
So, you think the Black Panther is whack?
If world history in the MCU is in any way equivalent, which based off Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which actually talks about racism, I would assume yes. Then Black Panther, by virtue of him and all of his forefathers and mothers, is whack. Just Wakanda's has to be whack. They might be, just per the level of things they could have made better, the most whack collection of anybody. I just thought about this over everybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I don't know if they can fix it. I think it might be too late.
You make a very convincing argument. I'm not gonna lie. Like, now putting all these things into context, it is a little crazy.
Bro, they let King Leopold pulled up.
This is okay. So this is a completely different conversation. But do you think they should recast Chadwick Boseman?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know. I mean, they said they won't, right?
Yeah.
So, they won't. I guess part of me has been more and more convinced over the past couple of months that T'Challa is a character who deserves the chance to live.
Yeah.
If that, what is it? We've had 3 Spider-Men.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 20 James Bonds. I know the structure of the MCU is that everything matters and blah, blah, blah. But it's not like they haven't recast black people before. Shout out Don Cheadle.
Yeah, have you ever watched New Girl?
Yeah.
Where they had
Coach and Winston?
Yeah.
They just switched out the black people and they really thought we wouldn't notice for 2 seasons.
After the first one episode, they had the Wayne's dude. I forget his
Yeah,
first
it's the
name.
pilot. Yeah.
And then the next day it was Winston.
It's Winston, bro.
It's like they really, really, really switched these 2 black people and thought we wouldn't notice.
And then they're like, "Oh, we'll bring Coach back," because I think they noticed. Well, then, the worst part of all of that is that Winston was such a great character, and they're like, "Oh, we need to give him something to do.
Yeah.
Make him a cop."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm ruining so many things for you today. First, the Ninja Turtles don't use their weapons, and then T'Challa just
So you think it would be okay if he was recast?
I guess I'm not as against it as I would have been a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty clear at this point that they won't. I'm just a little confused of what they will do. Because it kind of has to be a character that we already know should become Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think that's undebatable.
Yeah, for sure.
But of our options, Letitia Wright was probably up there, but then she started tweeting anti-vax stuff last year. So
did she really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh man!
I was so upset. I was like, "No, Shuri, you're a scientist. You can't do that."
What was she saying?
No, it's just she posted some video from a dude and was like, "Oh, just make sure you're doing your research. I'm doing my research." But then he was like, "Yeah, the vaccine will make you magnetic or something crazy like that."
All the third eye open people.
Saw a tweet recently.
You just gotta do your research. Yeah. Meanwhile, they get all their information from Instagram.
Yep, Instagram, YouTube,
and Twitter.
My bro, eat kale. You just need vitamins, bro.
What's
that shot gonna do?
Get your fish oil.
Omega 3s, baby.
your seaweed in there.
Yeah, blend it all up in a blender. There you go. You're cured. You solved Corona, bro.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like there people were saying that M'Baku, Winston
I really
Duke,
like M'Baku, honestly.
I think he would actually be kind of great. They could probably spin his arc from the last movie pretty well into it because he challenged him.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, damn, like this went from a guy who I thought was like a spoiled brat to now I really like respect and want to honor him. Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'd like that. Mountain Tribe gang.
I mean, it's really tough because, how do we honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy, while also continuing this franchise, which
it's important to a lot of people.
It's important to a lot of people. It paved a lot of paths for certain directors and actors. It crushed a lot of milestones and records,
billions of dollars.
And so rightfully, it deserves to have a sequel.
Yeah,
rightfully,
I'm excited for it.
Not just a sequel; it deserves to have, honestly, many subsequent films.
Did you hear about the Wakanda TV show?
No.
Yeah, they're getting one on Disney Plus.
See, that's great.
That's great. I think more of that is definitely in the cards. It's kind of like you just open up this infinite world of possibility there. Be fun to watch. Problematic if you think about it too hard, but I'm excited for more Wakanda.
What if Wakanda just didn't know? What if they didn't know that these surrounding countries are getting slaved out?
Listen. There is no fucking way.
It seems like a very insular community.
Because they have a force field. No one even knows what a force field is outside. So it's like, y'all got force fields? They were hiding a child. And the child was vibranium.
I will say, most likely, whoever was Black Panther at the time in the 1700s knew about the slavery. But everyone else, probably not.
I think that's worse. That's way worse. That's pretty bad, but it's worse because at some point you have to imagine that people figured it out, right?
No.
Bro, people had to figure it out.
Bro, there's no Instagram. There's no Twitter.
You have to have Instagram.
There's no Google.
The movie started with Lupita. She was like in disguise, stopping like some warlords or whatever outside Wakanda in Africa. And that's the one time they even talk about stuff happening outside Africa.
2017?
Yeah.
You don't know what...
But they couldn't have just found out. So it's 2016. They're like, oh man, like this Trump dude got elected. That's crazy, bro. Hey, you ever wonder what's happening over here in Africa? No fucking way. It took them that long to find out about all this shit. They're like, oh, King Leopold, who's that? Damn, bro. You ever wonder why we speak English?
And they do speak. They speak another language.
They speak, yeah, but I think it was Igbo. Like, it's another dialect from Africa. They had to listen. The whole point of the movie, and the issue is by the movie bringing it up. Mm-hmm. Now we have to talk about it because they probably could have just been like, "Oh, Wakanda's just here," but because they decided to make the premise of the movie like, "Hey, isn't it kind of messed up?" How, like, Wakanda's here, and at least for example, racism in America, like Black people aren't doing so hot over here. But if you take it to the large scale, like, damn, Brazil, hello, them niggas need help. I'm being honest. It's the problem. It's a nice fantasy, especially for Black Americans. Because it tickles the part of us that are like into Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not really challenging. Because the whole challenging thing would
not challenging what?
it doesn't challenge like our comfort so much. Like it definitely makes us think about racism in the U.S.
Yeah.
and how bad that is, obviously. But also, we're paying to see a movie made by an American company, loosely based off a fictional black character in a fictional black nation made up by white people.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, oh man, wouldn't it be lit if Wakanda were real? And Disney's like, $200 and we'll make it so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn, I just ruined Black Panther for like all 5 people listening to this, including myself. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this.
So you think Black Panther is whack? That's your
No, I don't. I think Black Panther's cool.
I mean, you gave your answer.
I gave my answer because if you think about it, the real world, if it in any way is congruent with the MCU's universe, then by default, purely off scale, Wakanda is the most whack set of coordinates in that entire universe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you made a great argument.
Yeah, that's my point. I'll drop it there.
Should we wrap it up?
We should wrap it up with the last thing, because this is a long episode.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Sheesh. Yeah, sorry y'all. They probably won't all be like sub 2 hours. You could watch Avengers Endgame and probably be like, damn, like they're still going. Jeff Bezos is going to space.
Yeah, he's going to space for 11 minutes.
Bro, let me just say, there's a really funny way that could end.
I'm not even gonna ask. We're trying to minimize the amount of bleeps that are in this episode.
I know, so I'm not following that up. That's all I'm gonna say.
We had a few,
God bless.
We had a few bleeps in the last episode.
We sure did. Lots of last names getting slung about.
And honestly, some scenes that were cut.
Yeah, we had to cut some stuff. Listen, I'm not... I guess this is why I'm like, cancel culture doesn't exist. I'm still here. Because I only punch up.
You're lying.
I only punch up or punch
lying.
myself.
You're gonna say you're lying because you were afraid of getting canceled, so you cut something.
No, I ain't cut anything out the episode that I said that was that crazy. I briefly suggested, well, maybe this could work in a specific way, and then I was like, no, the details don't matter. No one needs to hear that. My mom's gonna watch this probably. So yeah, I bleeped it. But I'm telling you, listen, cancel culture, people are like, oh, you can't make jokes anymore. But I'm like, jokes about what? You can joke about anything. You know? Depends on what kind of job you're worried about losing.
I mean, yeah. And that's also fair.
Yeah.
Too.
Or people that,
we don't talk about work here, but like I said, we respect it.
Yeah. People got to keep their jobs.
We got to keep your job. We're not trying to lose our jobs.
No. That's why I don't talk about mine.
Now I'll talk about mine. You don't even know where I work.
Yeah, y'all need to know that. So look, the whole point is that you can say all kinds of crazy, absurd jokes, but you keep the 2 rules of comedy in to be intelligent about it. You know, tragedy needs time to be funny, and you punch up or you punch yourself, you're Gucci.
Yeah,
yeah. That's really all you need to do. So you can say all kinds of wild shit. So if Jeff Bezos, functionally Lex Luthor of real life, gets on a rocket ship...
No, wait. Hold up.
Uh-huh.
But who's the real Lex Luthor? Is it Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk?
It's Jeff Bezos. Musk is too dumb.
Musk is too dumb?
Musk is dumb, bro. Elon Musk is not a smart man.
What?
Yep.
That's a hot take right there,
bro. Elon Musk is just a Redditor.
I mean, he's very much a Reddit meme god.
Yeah, he's just a meme lord. You just give a guy who grew up on 4chan and the money off his parents' emerald mines in South Africa.
Damn.
Like, yeah.
Is that actually how?
That's actually how he got his fortune. He started PayPal.
I didn't know that.
But he had he's a millionaire already.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. If you track back every rich person, it's like, oh, their parents gave them $200,000 loan, and they sprungboarded from there. People start with money,
yeah,
from their parents. You know, so
Which okay, so this is my thoughts on this.
okay.
That's exactly what I would do if I were a parent.
No, and be illustrative.
I am very much trying to get to the point in my life where I don't want to exploit anybody to get to this point. But if my child came to me and said, "Hey, I have this amazing idea. It's so and so, whatever. I need this amount of money to do it." For me, I'm like, I want to be able to just say, "Take it."
Yeah, I would want to be able to give my kids a loan and know that it would be cool and wouldn't financially ruin us or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the difference is that, and I'd probably explicitly tell my kids this. I'd be like, listen, like, obviously, like, I have the biggest possible hopes and dreams for this venture for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you to be successful. And obviously, like, this question may never apply to you. So don't think too hard about it. But, like, if this business has you making, like, multi-millions of dollars, like, at what point, what amount of money for you is enough?
Mm.
And I think it's a real question because, like, you know, obviously I feel like neither of us would want to exploit anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of don't suddenly get a ridiculous multiple of the average amount of money somebody makes on like an annual basis without somebody like is kind of getting like
shafted.
Yeah. It's how capitalism works. Somebody's got to be at the bottom to build up the top.
That's true.
It's kind of like, obviously, like, if my kids like became millionaires or whatever, okay, great. I guess I want to know, like, do you want to be a billionaire or something? It's just like, how much money is it? Like, this is an absurd amount.
Yeah.
Where at this point, it's just, you're just growing your catalog, or for like no other reason than it seems like it's your sole drive in life at this point, because the machine runs itself. And I feel like that's where you get all these multi-billionaires being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to space. Because it's like, damn, you done everything else. Might as well. I'd actually be mad pissed if Jeff Bezos went to space and then got Fantastic Four and got superpowers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be the worst. Oh my god. If the first superhero is a billionaire, we're so screwed.
If you were given a free ticket to get onto that rocket, are you taking it?
Jeff Bezos?
Yes. It doesn't necessarily have to be with Jeff Bezos.
But just getting on a rocket.
Just on that rocket, you spend 10 minutes in space, you come back down.
If it's just 10 minutes, yeah, do it.
It's not guaranteed that you're able to come back down, though.
No, what? What is the percentages on this? What are the odds?
I mean, that's what people are talking about, right? It's like, what's the risk of him actually doing this?
Listen, okay.
He's not an astronaut.
So when I was saying there's a really funny way this could go, let's just say that Jeff Bezos gets lost in space. That's kind of hilarious, right? That's funny. Listen, talk about tragedy plus time. That would be funny like 5 minutes after it happens. I would be making jokes. It would probably be inappropriate. I'm like, yo, Jeff Bezos is lost in space. What?
Well, maybe on the next podcast.
Yeah, maybe next episode. 2-day delivery can't fix that. I'll just say that. Jesus. Yeah, this is a 2-hour episode. What the fuck's wrong with that?
I mean, I think we can end it there. It's almost 12:30 in the morning.
Shit.
I got work in the morning.
Yeah, I do too. Low key day, but work is work.
Not so low key for me, but you know, it is what it is.
Sheesh. All right. Well, it's been fun. That's episode 2.
It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun.
No, it hasn't. You know, by episode 3, that's when it's like, this is real life. It's not like, there's another podcast we found called Anything But Work, and they only had like 1 episode in a preview. So if we make a 3rd episode, we like own this name. Like, this is our real lives now. So keep that in mind. We'll see you next time.
All right. once again, thank you for everyone who is tuning in. If anyone actually listened this far into the podcast,
Yeah, we keep speaking into
we
the
really
void.
appreciate it. If you didn't listen this far, we still appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
If you didn't listen at all, we still appreciate
We
it.
still thank you for
Hope you're
being
doing
alive
well.
and just being you.
Hope you're healthy. Hope your family is healthy and doing well.
Drink water.
Drink water, like, subscribe, get your fish oil, get your vitamins,
Mm-hmm.
get your seaweed,
Yep. Here's COVID. Just kidding.
get your vaccine,
Yes, actually get vaccinated.
and that's it.
That's it. Peace be with y'all.
If you enjoyed the show, please share this episode with your friends, family, and enemies. We don't discriminate. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you podcast. Drink water, and don't forget to make time for anything but work.